Secret Service on high alert after what the Trump's worst nightmare was just caught doing. Just a week ago, Representative Steve Scalise was shot in the hip by deranged Bernie Sanders supporter James T. Hodgkinson. The country is still in shock over the brazen and violent attack on our nation's leaders that terrible day. As the details filtered in, we eventually learned that President Trump was, in fact, the real target. And, now the president's Secret Service is on high alert after what was just discovered. The attack on Scalise was absolutely horrific, and what has made it even worse is that it has been egged on by liberal leaders and pundits in the media. Ever since Donald Trump assumed office, we have witnessed an increase in the left's violent actions. These vile and disgusting human beings have openly mocked President Trump, and that is just the beginning. Just recently, Hollywood comedian Kathy Griffin posed with the severed head of Donald Trump dripping with blood. George Lopez called for the rape of Melania Trump, and there was a taxpayer-funded play of Trump being assassinated. Instead of Democrat leaders calling for common unity, they are actually stoking the flames. In fact, Loretta Lynch made a video saying for people to resist Trump even if that meant blood in the streets. Lynch says in this video, "We have always had to work to move this country forward to achieve the great ideals of our founding fathers. They've marched, they've bled, yes, some of them have died. This is hard. Every good thing is. We have done this before, we can do this again. Now, I am not an attorney, but that certainly does sound like someone inciting violence, right? So, it should come as no surprise that eventually people like James T. Hodgkinson would eventually act. And, if anyone thought that would be the end of the insanity, they were very wrong." On June 15, one day after James T. Hodgkinson opened fire, another insane liberal made open threats against the president. But, this time he was promptly scooped up by the Secret Service and is still in custody. Here is more Bullville News. Democrat. An Edwardsville man posted on Facebook that he wanted to assassinate President Donald Trump, according to federal authorities. Joseph Flynn Pickett was charged with threatening the President of the United States on June 15. 2. Secret Service Special Agent Vincent Pescitely said Pickett threatened to take the life of, to kidnap, and to inflict bodily harm against Trump on Facebook, according to a criminal complaint filed with the charges. The complaint included screenshots of Pickett's Facebook posts. "Before I die, I want our President and Congress to sign a treaty to never side with Russia or any enemy of the United States of America. If one will, then that person deserves to be shot." His post read, "Guess what, Trump? I am waiting for the right time, and I know you're sick, Putin's expletive. The Secret Service now has a heads up as to my plan to assassinate Trump. Let's see if they act." After the original post, Pickett continued to comment, saying he was still waiting for the Secret Service to knock on his door and arrest him. "Honestly, am I really going to have to kill Trump before our fine government, the jackbooted thugs they are, actually takes me into custody for threatening to assassinate President Donald Trump?" Pickett wrote. "I mean, he sold our country to the Russians. He is a Benedict Arnold, but hey, the expletive is our president, even though he needs a blade in his neck. And you dumb asses who stick up for him, who's gonna protect you when someone like me comes to sick take you out?" Thankfully, Pickett has not been released, but I fear that this is just the beginning of more insanity to come. Until the Democrats stop with their incessant screeching and calls for violence, this will only continue. They cannot hide behind the First Amendment if it is going to cause harm to others, such as our representatives or president. The people and leadership have a duty to the American citizens to calm and unify the country. We are Americans and do not need to be further divided by these talking heads in power. Democrat leaders such as Loretta Lynch should be held responsible for these actions and be held accountable. If they actually lead their constituents instead of causing more division, we would be on the road to a better America. The only silver lining in this recent arrest is that it may wake others up. For too long, so many people have gotten away with being able to spout off their vitriol with no consequences. Maybe now that someone has been arrested and charged with threatening the President of the United States, there will be a change.